welcome back, Nicolets, to another Sims 4 speed build video, where today I'll be showcasing my latest work called the Modern Lofts. So I was actually playing back one of my recent builds, and I was actually quite unimpressed with the quality of work that I put out on that video. I sounded quite, lackluster in charisma, and I thought I should definitely make a new one, and I should sound a lot better, because I didn't know, I was looking at the video and I thought to myself, oh wow, I didn't know what to talk about. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of ways I can make the video more interactive with you guys. So in this video I hope to achieve that, and I do hope to further improve upon it as I make more of these videos in the future. So anyways, going back into the topic, this build actually ended up becoming one of the lengthier builds, one of the actually longest builds that I have made in the Sims 4 video. This probably took around 4 to 6 hours, I should say, which is a wide gap, but I'm not quite sure what the actual length or what the actual build time is, but I think it's around that time. So in the end, I was pretty happy on how it turned out, and this will be a two-part video as mentioned on the title screen, or the title of this video. So this part 1 video will only focus on the exterior elements of the house, so we'll be focusing on exterior finishes and also the main form of the building, or main form of the building shape. So we will also touch on some interior elements in this part of the video as well, but not to an extent. So that will only be reserved for the second part of this video. So moving over to currently what you can see on this video. So I was recently I was very inspired by one of the Sim Supply's latest build with collab he had with, I believe her name was Eguchi. So they made a collab video on a recent modern build which featured an underground, well, I wouldn't say underground, it's more of like a exposed basement backyard kind of feel to it, which I'm trying to replicate here right now. It looked really cool in their video, so I thought I might as well try it out for myself. So the end product is pretty amazing actually when you look at the screenshots. So I did quite impress myself with this build, and I hope to impress my viewers as well. So cough cough, my professors at Sheridan, cough. I am studying architectural technology, so I hope to improve my design capabilities as well. So I think after this lengthy build I have achieved that. Oh my goodness, throughout this entire build I thought to myself, oh my god, this is a lot of work. It's like I'm doing a freaking school project with this thing. Then I realized, hey, it looks really cool. I wish to share my creation with the world, and hope to finish this and not half-ass it, as one might say. So this house does have a basement, first floor, second floor, and a third floor, which is a balcony. The third floor also features a green roof. So one of the aspects, or one of the features behind this this build, is that I tried to maintain a sustainable approach to this design, and I wanted to add as many windows as possible, since it is modern after all, and lots of modern buildings feature lots of tall windows. So what you can see here on this footage right now is a cool feature that I like to call a split level. So I was actually quite impressed in how I figured this out. I thought to myself, hey, this is quite boring, let's add a interior set of stairs leading to a sink kind of thing. So that little sink would house the couch and all other living room elements. So that's really cool. That's a cool addition. Hopefully if your Sims get to use this house, which is again available in the gallery, you just have to search up the name. The name of this build is actually in the description below if you're interested in downloading it. So I highly recommend checking it out. And anyways, going back to topic, yes, the little nook or the little shed. I don't know what to call it. It's like a step down. There is a term for it, but I don't know at the top of my head. I'm just gonna call it like the shelter or whatever. So that's a pretty cool aspect behind the living room. And moving over to the third floor, we do have the parapets and the green roof. For the longest time, I've been trying to figure out how to add the staircase to the upper floor. I eventually gave up on it, and I thought to myself, I'm just gonna add it later. And here I am trying to put it in again. Then I realized, oh, I need to remove walls for it to work. And so I did. And there you go. So this feature staircase actually is open to below from the second floor to the first floor, and I added a really cool chandelier which covers the entirety, well, almost all the entirety of the ceiling in that specific area. So that's pretty cool. That staircase leads up all the way up to the third floor, which kind of, when I'm looking at it right now, it does remind me of one of my recent group projects that I released with my group members for school. Yeah, we do have like a feature staircase for that residential, well, half residential, half commercial building, which is pretty cool. It does resemble that very much, but altogether this is still a unique building. And moving over to the basement level, that little area there is a shed for storage area purposes. And then moving over to the ground floor, looking at this footage, I get pretty confused at myself, trying to determine like what the hell was I thinking throughout this entire video. What the hell was my thought process behind this? But as you guys may have noticed already, my work process throughout this video is totally random. I'm pretty impressed by like people who do these speed build videos in the first place. They usually, like, most of them are like really organized with their work. Sometimes they only focus on the basement and just the basement, and then they work on the first level, and then they work on the second level, and so forth, and so on and so forth, which is pretty cool. It's really organized, and I can never get myself to do that. I end up going back and forth with my design and changing things as I go, and in the end it looked really cool. So that's just, I guess that's just not my work ethic, which is okay. Like, that's my thing. So yeah, here's the third floor. And moving over to the mechanical part of the building, you'll notice that I have separated the mechanical or the utility part and the green roof part. So one of my, I guess you can say, my design styles when making buildings or making residential houses in The Sims is that I actually consider the structural integrity of the house itself, which means that I actually consider, mechanical aspects behind it, because when you make a house, you also have to consider some of the structural elements behind it, and like you have to consider what actually holds the building up. So that actually like complements the design if you actually think about it. Because if you just make a building that just defies the laws of physics, it just looks, well, to me personally, it just looks kind of off to me. So designing in a way that makes sense structurally would actually make the building aesthetic, much more pleasing to look at, and much more like, when you look at a building that has structural integrity, you'll generally feel like, oh, that building holds up together very well. So you don't have to worry about anything at all. So yeah, going back into topic, one of my designs, I guess, or one of my design aspects when making a Sims 4 house is that I do consider structural integrity, and it does add to the flavor of my design. So when you look at most of my buildings, they also have mechanical spaces in the basement, because most of our houses actually have a dedicated space for heating and other supply units for our houses. So that's a cool thing to look out for as well. So a lot of Sims 4 videos I've seen is that they miss that sort of aspect behind that. Like, they miss like the more realistic aspects behind making a house, because it's not just just designing a house. You also have to consider the working aspects behind it. What holds it up, what maintains it, and what lets people live in it in the first place. Which is pretty cool to think about. And I never really realized that sort of aspect behind making houses until I took the architectural technology program at Sheridan College. Most of the time I just thought houses were just like, oh, you just design them and like that's it. But no, you have to consider, the structural components behind it. And I went on a rant about structural components. I'm sorry. So going back to the topic, we did move on to the first floor. I did start adding furniture to it, and then I guess one of the best parts of one of my builds is that I do enjoy making the kitchen and making kitchen islands. And I actually had to look up a reference for this because I had no idea how to not structurally, but how to design this space right here. So I thought, hey, I should add a pantry, I should add a long hallway, I should make it connect to the dining room. And so I did all those three things together. I considered, oh, we should make a kitchen, we should make a pantry, we should make a powder room, and also a dining room, all in one go. So after thinking about that, I then put my thoughts together and looked at my options, and then I realized, hey, this looks pretty good. So what you're seeing right now is the final product, or the final product that is currently work in progress of what it would look like later on. So yeah, dining room is right there, and then the dining room does have access to the basement and the powder room, and then there is this lengthy 2 feet, I think it's 2 feet, 2 feet wide corridor leading into the kitchen. The kitchen does have an awesome breakfast counter and an awesome U-shaped kitchen, very spacious, and you do also get that U-shaped vibe going on around in the living room. I guess I just realized most of the room layouts here are kind of like just following the general U shape, which I guess just works in general for the house build that I am going for. Oh, and here we are moving to the green roof, which is the top floor of this building. As you guys may have noticed, the fireplace actually extends from the first floor all the way to the top. I'm not sure if that's actually like possible in real life, but I was like, oh, might as well go for it. So the top floor also boasts a really cool chill spot for your Sims to just cool down and enjoy the view, because this lot is actually on or right beside a park, so that's pretty cool, right? So if your Sims visit a nearby park, they would see this lovely house on the corner, and again, if you are living in this house, you get a lovely view of the park. So all those big windows that I mentioned earlier accommodates for that aspect of that house, so you do get a lovely view of the park. So doing some exterior finishing, right? Finishings there, and doing some more exterior floor finishings, and then adding some more environmental elements into the build. So again, I need to remind you guys, this is a 2-part video, so I highly recommend waiting for the next one to see the final product of this awesome build. And I think so far it looks pretty good. I can just even end it right here and then show off screenshots, but that's not the point of it, and screenshots will come in the second part of this video, so stay tuned for that. So we are approaching the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed part 1 of the speed build. Hopefully I did try to avoid saying as many ums and ahs, and I do hope to improve in the future. Thank you for watching, and see you guys next time.